Who the fuck is this? Page me at 5:46 in the morning, crack a dawning. Now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold out my eye. See who's this, page me and why. It's my man Pop from the barbershop. He was in the gambling spot here. Back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss the new Netflix documentary Biggie Got a Story to Tell. Now, if you're new here to my channel, which I'm sure some of you are because I got a lot of subscribers off of my Coming to America video, welcome. But I love hip-hop. I'm a big fan and Biggie is hip-hop. Going into this documentary, I thought, like probably many others, what is there new to tell? What are you going to show us that we don't already know, on top of the countless documentaries that have been made and the film that has been made about his life? Before I get into why you should watch this documentary and what they did show us that was different from everything else, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things when I bust my cat mother take dirt naps. I'm all that in a dime sack. What a paper at? Give me a loop. Give me a Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this documentary. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed this documentary and I thought it brought a lot of new things that we have never seen before. Now, a bulk of the documentary is carried because we get a lot of behind the scenes footage that we've never seen, a lot of stories that we've never heard from people who are the closest to Biggie. And unlike a lot of the other documentaries and the other movies, it didn't only solely focus on his beef. Now, I have not seen every single thing laid out on Biggie, but I do know that the bulk of it was either focused on the beef he had with Tupac, the East Coast, West Coast situation, and also his, toxic relationships with Lil' Kim and Faith Evans and, many other women and, his children. But we have never really gotten a really good look at behind the scenes Biggie's childhood and things like that. The, behind him, standing on those corners, all those rhymes we heard on, Ready to Die and Life After Death. We now kind of have a picture to go with these things instead of just his rhymes, and that's really cool. Now, we get a lot of behind the scenes footage courtesy of a friend of Biggie, who was in his crew, who constantly had a camera and was constantly filming things at Biggie's request. So we get a lot of things that we've never seen before. And from the looks of the documentary, it looks like a lot of things have been remastered. So everything is like really clear. So a lot of things that we may have seen before, it looks a little different here now. We also get a lot of time with his mom. Now, I've always loved Biggie's mom. She's always been, like really regal and seemed really dignified as a woman and, very strong, independent. And we get a lot of time with her. We get to know, more about her backstory, her life, her moving, to New York, her coming, from Jamaica and a lot of that background. So that was really good to see here. We also hear his mom, discuss the way she truly felt about his music, and you see the contrast and how they, she raised him, but it's like they came up from different walks of life, but she still found a space to relate to her son's music, even though it wasn't something that she agreed with. We get into how she really felt about a lot of the things in Biggie's lifestyle that she didn't agree with, and that was good to see here also. We also, go back to Jamaica and see things like Biggie's, 96-year-old grandmother and a lot of his family there. I had never seen that before. I don't know why. I never really even put, two and two together. Like, I knew that his mother was Jamaican, but when you think of Biggie, you don't really think of Jamaican and them, going back. So going all the way back that far to see his roots and, uncles and aunts and things like that. It really gives you a perspective on his upbringing and how he was raised and how deeply rooted he is in music. The documentary does a really good job of showing you where that spark came from for him to even want to do music. And you see from an early age, he was always, really bright and very smart as far as music is concerned, and knowing, what he liked, what he didn't like, why he flowed the way he did. You see his inspirations, as far as, like Big Daddy Kane and, Rakim and the up and coming rappers then. But you also see that he took elements, from jazz, and how jazz is, how jazz influences flow. And you also see how he pulled from all different genres, and how he could relate to, everything from, rock to R&B to country. And you see how much he loved R&B. And you see the influence of why he could rhyme over something like, juicy fruit and all of that, and how he could, rhyme over the Diana Ross, and why him and Puffy worked so well together, because he was always so R&B based that it was nothing for him to rhyme over those kind of beats. And unlike other documentaries, it was really good to hear from the people closest to Biggie. You see that they took out time to, talk to the people in the neighborhood, people who knew him back when, before he was Biggie, when he was just, a kid running around New York. We don't really, hear from a lot of executives and people in the business, and people who, know Biggie the rapper. We hear from people who know Biggie, the kid standing on the corner, the kid, selling drugs, the kid, not listening to his mom, his friends. You hear from people who are the closest to him. You also do hear from Diddy. Diddy's here. I am not the biggest fan of Diddy, but anytime that Biggie gets to be spoken on by Diddy, there's a light in him that I don't see when he speaks about any of his other artists. And I think it goes back to because he was on the come up with Biggie, and he wasn't, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. He wasn't all of those things yet. He was just still Sean, trying to make it. And unlike, with other artists and, some of the shady going on, that we hear about Diddy, here he seems, very genuine in speaking on his friend. And that's really good to see here, because Papa Diddy Puff Daddy is not my favorite person. We also get into, more things like Biggie, going to Catholic school, and his mom, despite her trying to rein him in and having that strict hold on him, especially with the neighborhood that they were living in, as a single mom, he still chose to lead a different lifestyle. And I think it speaks a lot to just the surroundings, because, you can try your best, to implement things and have, your children in certain areas and try to afford them things. But at the end of the day, they can still choose to do what they want to do. It's all about, what their mindset is. And you see here that Biggie's mindset was, I'm just trying to get to the money. We get into, more of, his life, selling the drugs and it was just like so much. I was like, damn, like, because we go, like 15-year-old Biggie, 14-year-old Biggie, and I'm like, Biggie was out there at 4, like, damn. But you see, at such a young age, he was already, rooted in seeing, this is what I want to do. This is, what I see in my neighborhood. This is who's making all the money, which we know. But, for it to be someone, so personal as Biggie, it's like you had all these things afforded to you and your mom was doing her best. But the allure of that neighborhood and those drugs, the fast money, it could happen to anybody. We are also reminded, of Biggie's come up, his struggle to get to where he was. He wasn't some overnight sensation. Yes, when he did hit, he really did hit, and he took everybody. Man, I just love Biggie. Like, when he got put on, he was like, I'm putting everybody on. I'm bringing everybody from my hood. You do this, you all coming with me. I'm not just getting out, we're all getting out. But it's nice to go back and see, the process of what it took, for you to even get signed. Unlike now, you can upload your music to SoundCloud and, just blow up. You can, put your music on YouTube or Instagram. And unlike back then, no, it was a struggle. And you see his strife with, not selling drugs and selling them. Like, I want to get put on. I do want to rap. But, I'm not waiting for anything. If this doesn't work out, this is what I'm doing. Like, it was a very realistic point of view of, just the come up, like, the struggle. And no more struggling now. Like, I could make a song. I think also about this documentary was just hearing Biggie rhyme. Just hearing rhymes real rhymes, real rap. Like, it's like so nostalgic to hear those things now, because you just don't hear rapping like that anymore. Especially even at that time, we were coming off of, Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and Run DMC, and Biggie came along. He still, had that really good flow, but he had that really good thought process like a Rakim and Big Daddy, because his favorite rapper, as we see from this documentary, is Big Daddy Kane. He had all of that, but he had his own style. He was peaking on something new. Just to hear that, and then they also, make it a point to put his rhymes on the screen when we do see him rap, and you're rapping along, and it's just so like, damn, that's really gone. I mean, it's not absolutely gone, but it's just something about going back and seeing when those things were in the forefront, and the words that came out of your mouth, yeah, I said mouth, mattered. Like, it just took me back to, really loving, Tupac and Common and Ice Cube and NWA and A Tribe Called. Y'all remember rhymes? Wu-Tang? Wu-Tang is for the children. Y'all remember when, like, it mattered what came out of your mouth, and you could, like, get an album and all the songs were, like, you didn't have to skip. You didn't, like, buy a whole album just for one song. Rappers, like, dedicated, like, real time to making sure, like, you wasn't skipping nothing. Like, even just going back to, like, Biggie's Ready to Die album, you have, like, Juicy, Warning, Give Me the Loot, One More Chance, like. And best of all, we just get to see Biggie be Biggie, like the big guy with charisma, like him and Heavy D, like. And you know that he was, infamous for that, I'm black, I'm ugly, I got a lazy eye, but, I can take your girl, I'm sick. And you get to see, more of charming Biggie. Who don't want to see that? Who don't want to see that smile and that laugh? And, you just get to, see and remember, how funny he was. And we just end off the documentary with his death, but it didn't seem so final. Like, the main focus was just Biggie. It wasn't the beef. We didn't really even get to see much of Tupac in this documentary. And I loved it, because just like with the Biggie film, I prefer the documentaries like this one's, that we get this instead of, the movie. The movie Notorious wasn't bad, but it was just, flash and like flare, and just, I haven't seen Notorious in a really long time. I think I'm gonna go back and watch it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember being a little, just, you got it going on. What? I don't recall. I used to be scared. I don't know. I'm not gonna go. Now I throw licks to the shit. Handle it like a no. But I remember it. But, and just like, with the Tupac film, that was a lot of things. I prefer the documentary, the resurrection of Tupac to anything else that I've seen on him. So the documentaries do serve a purpose. And I think that this one will be a good one to add to the collection if you just want to hear about Biggie and, have love for Biggie and see, not only, shots of the funeral, but, how much he was revered and loved around his community. We've seen it and we've heard it, but we get to see it and hear it again with really clear footage. And the people that, are closest to him talking about it, and his mom, like, his mom is still so funny. She's still so funny. She's just so strong and Jamaican and so much flair. And she still talks about her son like she just saw him yesterday. And who doesn't want to see that? But I really love the documentary. I really think you guys should check it out if you haven't. If you have, please drop down and tell me what you thought about it, how you feel about it. Do you think it was good? Do you think it added, anything else, to his legacy and stuff like that? And if you haven't seen it, please go watch it, and then you can come back and we can discuss it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.